Yes, yes, people. Welcome to All Things WWE on the Finished Article. It's your boy Shazad, and it's your boy Shazad again on my left, but you're all right, whichever way you want to do it. That's too sweet. It's my boy with the horse with the most shows. I'm going to keep calling him that because it's a cool nickname. um, yeah, I'll hand it over to Shazad. I'll let him tell you what we're actually going to be talking about today, and then we'll kick things off.
What's happening, peeps? Hope everyone's well. And let's get straight into it. So what we're covering today is literally all things WWE, and we're just going to say how bad it's been recently. I mean, let's be honest, from WrestleMania to NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver to Monday Night Raw, you name it, man. We just literally going to rip it apart. I'm going to let my boy Chaz take over because you know what? He want to let.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
Right,
Yeah. So right, I'm just gonna go off the top here. I wasn't even planning on doing this today, but I just thought we'd get this out, get it out there. Yeah, WWE recently. When I say recently, I don't mean the past couple of weeks. I mean the past couple of months, the past couple of years has been shocking. What do I mean by that? Who watched WrestleMania? Yeah,
guys,
exactly.
leave a like and
Near enough
subscribe.
everybody watched WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
if you watch WrestleMania, leave it in the comments what you thought about it and hit the like button so we know how many people actually watch WrestleMania that watch this video. So WrestleMania was probably the worst WrestleMania that I've watched. And saying that, I watched last year's WrestleMania that had no fans at all, and that was probably better than this. This year's WrestleMania was bad, bro. Look at it. The two best matches, the two best matches on the card.
Before you go into it, it says something. It says something about WrestleMania card when the two main events are between women's championship, which by the way is fantastic, but it just shows how bad the rest of the storylines are.
Bang on, and it's not even the fact that the main event on night one was the women's title match. That's well deserved, and like I was about to say, the two best matches over the two nights, not just for myself, for other people as well, were the women's matches, the women's title matches. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair smashed it on night one, and then night two you had Rhea Ripley and Asuka smashing it on night two. Those were the two best matches over the two nights. And to be fair, I don't even really watch women's wrestling on WWE. It's the part of that I either go for a piss break or I'm not even interested. I forward it. And for me to say that the two best matches over night one and two were their matches, it says something. Let's look at it. Let's break it down. You had Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil. Night one were fine. They came out as normal. Night two, they decided they wanted to dress up as bloody pirates. What is that even about, Shaz? Why were they even dressed up as pirates?
Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I'm
having some technical issues with my camera, but you know what? It's just a sad state of affairs when they have to come dressed as pirates, come dressed with no storyline, and again for me it was just a big faff. I was like,
I'm going to be honest here. WWE is pandering to the wrong audience. They're pandering to kids. They're pandering to the young new people that are going to be coming into wrestling and watching it. They're not doing anything to keep the long long history of fans. Like myself, I've been watching wrestling for a good 20 years, probably more than that. Well, let's say 30 years. I've been watching wrestling a long time. And they're doing nothing to keep my interest in the product. Over the years, there's been times where I've not even watched wrestling for months on end. There's been times I've just not bothered watching anything like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, nothing at all. There's been periods where I've missed it, and when I've come back, it's the same old crap on TV.
You know what?
Let's say you stop watching.
I have to sum it up with like this. I've been watching wrestling, like Shaz said. Me and him go way back when it comes to watching wrestling. And all I've got to say right now is that the stuff we used to watch back in the day, the Attitude Era, at least there was a lot of content. There was backlashes, great storylines. Right now, it's just bad storyline telling. I mean, it puts us to sleep. I mean, I haven't even watched Raw. Shaz has already watched it, and he's told me how bad it is. I mean, I was like,
When I
Raw.
say I've watched Raw this week, I was really excited for Monday Night Raw. It's the first Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. To me, it's the start of a new season in wrestling, because the build up to WrestleMania starts the night after, the week after, on Monday Night Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. That's where it all starts from.
Yeah.
So the road to WrestleMania has already started from yesterday's Raw. Now, I'm always excited to watch the night after WrestleMania, because you get a lot of good. You get got a lot. How do you call it? You get a lot of good products on that night. You get debuts, you get returns, you get a bit of everything. Yes, we got returns, but the booking, the storylines, they're still carrying that stuff on a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to ruin too much of it for Shaz for Raw, but it was just,
You know
from
what?
start to finish, I didn't enjoy it at all.
I'm going to say something. I don't think you can ruin it for me, because from the brief bits that I've seen and read about, because I always tend to read this stuff. For me, it was a non-show. I mean, let's be honest. As we talked in the preview of WrestleMania, what we wanted to happen coming the first night of Raw after WrestleMania, it was just a drab show, and this just highlights
It was, bro.
how bad it was.
Yeah, it had. That's just one of the things that highlights how bad this booking is. Now, what WWE needs to do is look at who is writing these storylines. I mean, who is sat in creative, thinking of these stupid storylines that they're coming out with, especially this whole thing with Randy Orton and The Fiend. It's gone on for 4 or 5 months. It's absolutely ridiculous. It needs to be finished. And I think it has. I think after watching Monday Night Raw, it looks like between The Fiend and Randy Orton's finished, but obviously the whole thing between Alexa Bliss and The Fiend's obviously not finished. The Hurt Business are being obviously were disbanded, which was one of the worst decisions they made before WrestleMania. The Hurt Business was probably one of the best things on WWE on Monday Night Raw since they started a few months back. To split them up the way they did was just stupid. I mean, stables have people that help out the champ as much as they can, and when they fail, they don't just disband the whole stable or the whole faction. I mean, it's like if Jey Uso failed to beat someone on SmackDown for Roman Reigns, you don't see Roman Reigns just saying, "Nah, I don't want no part of you no more. Do one, mate." No, he punishes him. He put earlier on in the storyline, he used to hit him with steel chairs and used to beat him up and stuff. But you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous the way that they're doing these storylines.
I think you just summed it up. I mean, guys, apologies. I'm going to have to jump off shortly because of opening my first fast. But let me just sum it up by saying this. You've got a hell of a lot more entertaining storylines that can be written. And for us, we're just disappointed. I think they need to recruit new talent. They need to recruit new writers. They just need to.
Nah, bro. They don't need to recruit new talent. The Raw, SmackDown, NXT roster is full of talented people.
Apologies, not talent when I'm talking about wrestlers. I'm talking about.
You're talking about the backstage stuff.
Apologies,
okay.
the backstage.
Yeah. So they need to strip out.
Go on.
Sorry, they need to strip out the writers that shouldn't be there. The writers that have never been in the wrestling industry until they got that job, and the same with the producers. I mean, one of the producers is actually Jason Jordan. I mean, how long was he even a wrestler for in WWE before? Obviously, yes, he got injured and they wanted to keep him on. But why put him as a producer? Put him as a coach. Let him train some of the younger people in NXT, because he is a very good wrestler. He's got a very good amateur background, like Kurt Angle and Chad Gable.
Absolutely.
Why not put him into NXT as one of the coaches? That would do wonders for some of the people that need coaching in NXT. Why put him as a producer on Raw or SmackDown? It doesn't make sense.
No, I agree, and this is what I mean. So when I talk about talent, the way I see the wrestling creative improving is, you know how on NXT you've got Triple H, you've got Shawn Michaels, you've got them basically running the show. You need ex-wrestlers that have done it in the business to come back and be part of the creative team. Okay, Jason Jordan, I understand they wanted to keep him, but like you said, as Shaz has highlighted, he's too young. He's not got much talent because he's not been in the business that long. So that for me is a flop. We're talking about you guys like your JR and King, Austin,
there you go, bro.
The Rock.
Why did WWE let JR go to AEW? That was a stupid mistake to let JR go. He was head of talent relations for a long time at WWE. I think he was a booker at one point as well. I do believe. But to let someone like JR go because I don't know, they wanted a whole new commentary team. The commentary team isn't that bad. Don't get me wrong. I like Corey Graves and I like Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's killing it over on commentary, but that proves another point. They've got Samoa Joe on commentary because of his injuries with his concussions, so they wanted to keep him out of wrestling. But I believe he's actually now medically cleared to wrestle, but they still keep him on commentary.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that's not just WWE's decision. I think that's Samoa Joe as well. He wants to stay away from the ring for a bit, get his whole body healthy, get the hunger back before he comes back, which is good. I cannot wait to see Samoa Joe come back.
I'll be honest with you. I think he's just staying away because he knows the storylines are so bad. So he's like, you know what? I don't want.
He won't put it past me. You know, I'd love to see Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles again. I've seen him fight before. They've done it on other promotions, and I'd love to see him do it here as well more. Another storyline I'd like to see. Again, I know it's already happened in WWE, but Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. It's just one of those storylines. I absolutely love the feud that Roman Reigns had with Samoa Joe. It was brilliant. They could have done it a lot better because they were both Samoan. They could have brought their family heritage into it and stuff like that. They could have brought other wrestlers into it, like the Usos and maybe some other Samoans and stuff like that. They could have done loads with that, but they dropped the ball on it. Like they do with all the older storylines. This is WWE. They're known as dropping the ball every single time. I don't think there's been a storyline in WWE that I've liked that much recently. Besides NXT, the whole thing with Finn Balor up until takeover, just recently where he lost to Karrion Kross, that was brilliant. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to my boy Shaz. I'm going to let him give his final thoughts on what we've just been talking about. This was purely a rant video because why not?
You know what, guys? I can't say any more that Shaz hasn't already said. For me, I think it just sums up how we both feel. I think wrestling can be going in a better direction, but right now, especially WWE, because I can't comment on other stables or other companies. I know we're covering segments on that, but we'll touch upon that there. For me, WWE just needs to get its act together because right now it's falling behind the pecking order, and I wouldn't be surprised if it start losing fans to other things. But that's just my take on it, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. And until next time, signing out, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in for the rant. That's what it was, basically, I'm guessing here. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your comments on what you think of the current state of WWE, and we'll see you again in the next video.